Hey guys, Jessica here. So today we're going to cover some questions that I wish parents felt more empowered to ask their health insurance. And these are the ones that I recommend you call your health insurance before your baby arrives and find out all of your insurance benefits related to infant feeding. So call your insurance company and find out, do they cover a breast pump? At what point in the pregnancy do they cover a breast pump? How long is that benefit good for? A lot of people are ordering their pumps at 27, 28 weeks because that's when the OBs are giving them the prescription. That's when they become eligible, but that may not be the best fit for you. And we're going to have another video later this week that actually talks about when you should order your pump and what the best timeline is for you with things to consider. But find out how long is that benefit good for. So like for TRICARE, that benefit is actually good for 3 years. So if you already have a breast pump from another baby that you've had that's still in working order, you may not want to use your breast pump benefit right away. You may want to wait until you know what's going on with that baby, wait a little bit longer, wait until that breast pump breaks or feels like it's about to break, and then replace with what you want to replace. You want to find out what replacement parts are covered. So a lot of companies will tell you that they cover replacement parts. Some will tell you they don't. You want to find out, are you only eligible to get them through certain DMEs? Are there limitations on what parts? One that's famous for that is TRICARE, because the way that the TRICARE policy is written does not actually one-to-one match with modern pumps. It really was meant to cover things like the Medela Symphony, things like the Amida Platinum. It's referring to very specific parts of those pumps, so it doesn't translate well to wearables. A lot of TRICARE moms are struggling to get that covered. And if they are covered, they're only getting a small fraction of the price covered because of the price that TRICARE is reimbursing. The price of a diaphragm for a traditional pump and the price of a diaphragm for a wearable are very, very different. So find out what that coverage looks like and who you can use to get that coverage. You also want to find out, is lactation support covered and under what terms? Do you have to use an in-network provider? Do you have out-of-network provider benefits? Are you required to use somebody who has a particular type of license? So one of the things that we're seeing is that a lot of insurance companies, they say that they cover care with an IBCLC, but they only cover care with an IBCLC when the person also has a secondary credential or license. But that isn't required to be an IBCLC. So yes, they're covering it, but they're not covering the private practice LCs that you may want to be working with. So those are things you need to know. I also recommend finding out under what circumstances your insurance company will cover a hospital grade rental pump. So there still are scenarios in which personal use pumps are simply ill-equipped, especially if you've gotten one of the portable or one of the wearable. There are scenarios in which a hospital rental pump may actually be a better fit, at least in the short term, for bringing in a milk supply, increasing a milk supply. Some of the pumps that are out there on the market are great for sustaining a milk supply, but they're not so great at bringing it in or to increase it. So there are circumstances in which we would want to use particular pumps. So you want to find out, is it covered? And if it is it covered after you get your personal pump? Because that is something that I'm seeing a lot here lately in my local community is that moms do have access to rental pumps, but as soon as you get your personal use pump, you lose your rental pump benefit. So if they've already given you a pump, they're like, no, that's good enough. But that means if you spend your benefit on a portable or a wearable at 28 weeks and then your baby arrives at 34 weeks because of complications, you may have several weeks that you actually need a heavier duty pump than what you have, but your benefit is gone. So these are things you want to find out from your insurance company. Find out, do they cover milk bags? If they cover milk bags, what does that look like? Do they cover donor milk? Under what circumstances do they cover donor milk? And then one that I'm actually encouraging moms to talk to them about is, do they cover specialty infant formulas? So if your infant cannot drink traditional, normal, on-the-shelf infant formulas, they need one of our highly specialized, hydrolyzed formulas. Do they have any coverage for that? Because some do, some don't. It varies, and the criteria needed can often be really hard to get documented unless you knew it ahead of time. If you know it ahead of time, then you can talk to your provider to ask those specific questions and say, hey, I know that my insurance covers this. If you write a letter of medical necessity based on X, Y, and Z criteria, can you please do that for me? And then you want to talk to your insurance also about, do you have to buy your breast pump through a durable medical company like Aeroflow, Acceleron, breastpumps.com? Are you stuck using those third parties, or can you buy it directly and be reimbursed? And if you can buy it directly and be reimbursed, what is that maximum reimbursement amount? So one of the things that I'm helping a lot of local moms with is it is actually very expensive to get some of the desired pumps through insurance with TRICARE. They're finding there's these big out-of-pocket fees, but TRICARE actually covers the full price of the pump. So if they go buy it themselves, they're going to get the full reimbursement. Is that going to work for everybody? No, because not everybody has $200 to $300 sitting around, which is, pretty good coverage for a breast pump. Not everybody has that money sitting around in order to spend it themselves and then be reimbursed. But for those that do, that could be a better option for them. Every family situation is unique. I encourage every family to utilize their benefits to the maximum extent that they are applicable and beneficial to them. So call your insurance company and ask these questions and record when you called, like the date, the time, and who you spoke to. Because if you call back and they're giving you a different answer, then you can say, no, I spoke to somebody on, November 2nd at 9 a.m. named Janice, and this is what she told me. So why is that changing now? I also recommend ask them where on their website can you find their written policy. That goes a long way. If you know your written policies, you can often more heavily advocate for yourself. Because remember, your insurance company is not there to be your friend. Your insurance company is there to cover the bare minimum to make the maximum profit for them. That's just how insurance works. They're not your friend. They're not going to be your friend. They're not going to suddenly bend over backwards to tell you everything you are eligible for. DMEs will tell you a lot of what you're eligible for when they can benefit from it. But you, as the consumer, ultimately need to be the one responsible for knowing your benefits. So make that call, write it all down, ask for the written policy, and make sure that you're taking full advantage of your benefit when you need it. So hopefully that helps you get better prepared for your baby and happy pumping.